The Downstairs Girl, written by Stacey Lee, book talk by Jordan Kamba. Jo Kwon is great at giving advice, riding horses, accessorizing, and styling hair. By today's standards, Jo would probably be a very popular 17-year-old girl with many friends and a future full of exciting possibilities. Unfortunately, her story takes place in the 1890s when laws were made to keep people of different races segregated. As one of the only Chinese Americans living in Atlanta, this means Jo has a difficult time fitting in and making a life for herself. As a fourth generation Chinese American, Stacey Lee has written several historical fiction novels told from the perspective of Chinese American characters. In The Downstairs Girl, the protagonist Jo is not considered a citizen and cannot rent her own property even though she was born in America. She and her adoptive father, Old Jin, live in the basement that was previously used by abolitionists underneath a print shop. From her secret home, Jo is able to eavesdrop on the Bell family, who own the print shop and run The Focus, a local newspaper. This is how Jo learns that the newspaper is struggling financially and begins writing an advice column called Dear Miss Sweetie anonymously to help The Focus get more readers. As Miss Sweetie, Jo can openly write about her views on gender and race equality. However, in real life, she is forced to work as a maid for Caroline Payne, the daughter of the most wealthy family in the city. Caroline is cruel to Jo, but with no other options for work, Jo must endure the debutante's mean spirit. Adding to all of these struggles is the mystery of Jo's birth parents. She never met them, and old Jen has told her very little. She must rely on her wit and skill if she wants to learn about her identity, keep her job, avoid exposing where she lives, and keep people from finding out that she is the controversial Miss Sweetie, introducing radical ideas to the people of Atlanta. I found this story to be full of suspense, and it also presents an interesting point of view and dynamics for a time period that is commonly thought of in terms of black and white. While I have read about the experiences of African Americans in the years that followed slavery, I have never really considered the impact of Jim Crow laws and openly prejudiced society for other people of color during this era. Lee managed to weave several complex issues and events that were taking place at that time into this story without overwhelming the plot, including race relations, classism, and gender equality. In one scene, Jo attends a suffragette meeting with one of the black women she works with at the Payne household. Although they had the same goal of equal voting rights as the white women at the meeting, they are turned away from the cause because of their skin color. The fight that eventually led to the ratification of the 19th Amendment was monumental, but I think it is important to address that despite their heroism, the leaders of this movement were not entirely inclusive. To me, well written historical fiction does not gloss over the messy parts. It presents complicated history, all while connecting it to the characters and showing how they would relate to events as they happened. The Downstairs Girl was one of the most popular young adult books of 2019. It was recognized as one of the best books of the year by the Washington Post, School Library Journal, Publishers Weekly, and New York Public Library. It makes sense that this book would be so well received as young audiences continue to crave diverse representation. Not only does this demand expand to historical fiction, but the depiction of characters like those who have been underrepresented allows children to better understand the past. Still, as original as this story is, there is something classic about Jo's determination to rise above her station. Like Jo March, Jo Kwon refuses to settle for the traditional role that was expected of her. Both Joes defy what was considered acceptable behavior for women in the 1800s. They seek independence over marriage, and they are both writers. I wonder if Lee intentionally named her main character after Little Women's heroine. This The story offers compelling insight into an eventful time in history told from a unique point of view. However, The Downstairs Girl is not only interesting but also very enjoyable. The historical context is used masterfully to enhance an entertaining plot about a charming teenage girl who works to overcome racial prejudice and gender norms. It definitely keeps the reader guessing all the way through to the end.